Greetings, brothers and sisters, men and women all around the world. Welcome to another episode of Clearing the Smoke. I'm your brother Fiji.
Me, brother Blayland.
Oh man, and tonight, man, we got a very important topic that we need to discuss, brother Blayland. But before we
Yes,
get
sir.
into this topic, uh, I want to give a big shout out to all the supporters. Hey, we have made it past 5,000 subscribers. Thank you. That's a milestone for positive lifestyle man because we get everything out of the mud. We in the trenches. So we get
Fact.
everything out of the trenches, you know what I'm saying? So that's first. Second, my brother, got to give a big
Hmm.
shout out to you, man. And peoples have been missing you. Our supporters, all the networkers, a lot of the networkers been asking about you, where you been, what's been going on with you. So why don't you tell everybody what's been going on, bro?
Yes, sir. Well, I've been off the scenes because I've been working at trying to expand the education department of our organization to ensure that not just we're teaching the membership, but society as a whole. Because oftentimes we've limited what we believe in and what we teach to just our membership, not realizing how vast the teachings really are. So I've been working in the communities throughout trying to bring everything back together as it should be. So society knows not just what we believe in and who we are as a positive, productive group, but at the same time, so they know their place within growth and development, not as an organization, but as a process. That's been my
Okay.
focus.
Okay, that's that work, bro. That's what we call that boots on the ground.
Absolutely.
Boots on the ground, in the trenches, men on the battlefield, putting that good work in, bro. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. We need more of our educators to get them boots on the ground and continue to do that work. But hey, that's what we talking about, bro. Keep doing that work, keep putting that work in, bro. That's what we need. Uh, have you been paying attention to the news cycle lately?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as you can see, well, Grandpa Joe Biden, you know what I'm saying? He dropped out the race, man. You know what I'm saying? He did an honorable thing. I guess if you're a Democrat, he did an honorable thing and said, okay, I'm gonna step to the side and let Kamala go on and push forward, right? That's an honorable
Hmm.
thing. If you're looking at it from the perspective, you can always look and say, okay, it's bigger than myself. It's not about me. It's about it's about the Democratic Party. And then so that's an honorable thing if you're looking
You
at it from
you
that
worded
perspective.
that different than how I would have said it, dear brother.
Okay, how would have said it, bro?
I would have said it's an honorable thing if you're looking at let me step out the way and pass it to the next person of our agenda,
Okay, okay,
not Democratic Party agenda as a whole.
okay, okay,
Because it's not just about Democrat and Republican; it's about an agenda.
okay. So to further our agenda.
Hmm.
Okay, then. All right, we'll go with that. Hey, I ain't got no problem with being corrected. One thing I don't have is an ego. I don't have an ego. So you say it's an agenda. Okay, let's go with
Yes,
that
sir.
then. Okay, then. So then you've been seeing then that uh over the last 12 to 14 days, Miss Harris has put $310 million into the Democratic coffin.
Hmm.
And plus the 67 million that Joe Biden already had in the coffin. That means that she has $377 million that she's raised over the last 12 to 14 days. So,
Correct.
they got Mr. Trump, he's kind of reeling at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So we see a lot of people are jumping on this Kamala Harris bandwagon.
Hmm.
A lot of people are jumping on this bandwagon. So let me ask you a question.
Talk to me.
Where do you stand on this?
Ooh, love that question. Society's not gonna like my answer, but I'm not here to please society. I'm here to be truth and facts.
Truth and fact. That's what we stand on. What do PLM stand on?
Truth and facts.
Truth and fact. Let's go with the truth and the facts then. Let's clear the smoke.
Okay, that's clear.
That's clear.
Here's the truth and the facts about it. Okay, respect the sister for striving to become the president. And if she's successful, she's the first black female president. Applaud that effort. The reality is the Democratic Party itself is a rebirth of the Confederate Party of the South. If we do a
Okay,
truth and fact.
explain that. Okay, break that down in layman's terms. Let the networkers need to understand exactly what you're saying.
Okay, but let's go with it. To break that down, and there was a civil war that went on in America, right? Where it was the Yankees versus the Confederates.
Okay, the Union
The
versus
Confederate,
Confederate.
yes, the Confederates pretty much lost the war according to their social standards.
Okay,
They reinvented themselves as a Democratic Party.
or were they already the Democratic Party?
In essence, yes, they were.
They was
Because one
already the
thing,
Democratic Party.
yes, they hid themselves behind different banners,
What other
such
banners
as
they
the Ku
hid
Klux
themselves?
Klan, such as the Confederates. All of
Yep,
those were extensions of the Democratic Party.
right, because that was their agenda.
Yes.
Okay,
Now, the Confederate, well, I could say Confederate Party was about keeping slavery intact. That's what they were about. Jim Crow was set in motion by the Democratic Party.
okay,
Again, like I said, the Ku Klux Klan was set in motion by the Democratic Party. So, in either case that you look at it, the Democratic Party, the Confederate Party or Confederate Army, the Ku Klux Klan, the Jim Crow standards were all about keeping their slaves intact.
okay. So let me ask you this here.
Hmm.
We have a lot of men and women across America who
Right,
has jumped on this Kamala Harris train, as we can
right.
call it. I call it that. But before I do that, right, I
Hmm.
want to take a read. And I got to take this read. If you are reading from the blueprint, we got to do the blueprint. We got to do this reading. So it will be uh, remiss of us to keep not to keep everything within the blueprint of a new concept. All right.
Yes, sir. Our proper context.
Yes. So truth is our foundation, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you're reading from the Rod Emory edition, you will be reading from page 102. All right. Page 102. We're dealing with political.
Hmm.
If you read from the blueprint of a new concept, you're going to be reading from page 97. I'm going to take my reading from the blueprint of a new concept. It says, the main obstacle to our political development is that we do not understand how politics have played a very major role in our lives. All we know is that we feel victimized by the political realities that confront us. However, our new concept deals with politics from this vantage point. We must begin to understand and participate in the election process. We must research and understand the track records of candidates, and we must begin to prepare our own candidates. One of the main reasons why we have been victimized by the system is because we have no voice within the system. As outlined in our literature, the legislature is in control of the lawmaking politics that we must live under. However, the legislature are voted in to office by the many communities which we live. We must begin to understand that as long as we project a negative image to the community will, in return, continue to support negative legislation such as the Class S law. All right, let's get to the root of this here. We finna get down to the nitty gritty. We don't understand the political process, right?
Correct.
So what we have is individuals who would jump out there and try to use their perceived or media garnered recognition to push an agenda forward, right?
Mm.
So,
I had a thought when you said that, but go ahead there, brother.
okay, the Chicago very own WGN News, right?
Mm-hmm. That's Channel 9, correct?
That's Channel 9 in Chicago.
Okay.
They had an article. They printed an article in the title of the article says former high-ranking member of the Gangster Disciples, Harold Looney G. Ward, throws his street support behind VP Kamala Harris with citywide voters registration drives during the DNC. Now you know the DNC is taking place in Chicago this month in August, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where it's taking place at. So
Okay, so DNC, that's Democratic what?
National Convention.
Okay.
We just had the Republican National Convention. That's where Donald Trump brought out JD Nance as his running mate for vice president.
All right, that's a clout chasing moment.
That's the cloud chaser moment. So that's where all of this is where they do the nomination at. This is where the Democrat is going to nominate uh, Kamala Harris to be their nominee for the president of the United States.
Okay.
So Mr. Looney G,
Mm-hmm.
and through his name or through his, he had jumped out there like he got street credibility. He got the street credibility that he finna use his street ties to get a voter registration drive for the DNC going, right?
Mm. I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When they use street in that term, what do they mean by street? Because I
That
have
they,
my own definition of street coming from what the background I come from.
so we got to look at it now. The media play
Mm-hmm.
games. We got to always
Absolutely.
remember. We just PLM has been talking about agent provocateurs. And
Correct.
we talk about how the media and the FBI and the police and everybody else, they use people, agent provocateurs, to
Mm-hmm.
infiltrate and like they really for the people, right? And I'm
Correct.
saying Harold, Looney Ward, and in this case, Wallace Gator Bradley are agent provocateurs. I'm not saying that. But my sources, credible sources, are saying, have reported to me that they stink, that they smell
Mm.
like dead carcass,
Mm.
that they're no good, that they have a stench about them. This is what my sources have reported to me, that they don't have no voice in the street. This is
Okay.
what the
Well,
sources for PLM has been reporting to me.
I mean, if we being transparent, dealing with truth and facts, let's deal with it.
Let's deal with it. That's what we
Because
stand on, right? So we ain't gotta miss
absolutely.
this. Let's stand on it.
Okay.
Let's clear the
You
smoke.
know, I'm front line with growth and development.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
front line with the concept. I believe in organization. So anything that growth and development is involved in and or is putting on as far as a function, community outreach, whatever the case may be, I strive to be involved in any shape, form, or capacity that I can. And I have not seen or heard of Looney or Gator being involved in anything going on in the past 10 plus years. Like nobody that I know when I can attend an event and people that I know have attended that's got boots on the ground, that's frontline with what we believe in, they've never seen either person there. They've never heard a comment given by these person, a wise word being given to the crowd, nothing. So my question becomes, if they haven't been involved in over 10 plus years with anything going on with our community, how can they be a voice for something they're not involved in?
Okay. The question also becomes from my position is
Mm-hmm.
why now?
Mm.
Why now? We got to pay attention to what the article says. The article says former high-ranking member of the Gangster Disciples, Harold Looney G. Ward, throws his street support behind VP Kamala Harris with citywide voters registration drives during the DNC. The article is suggesting that Nooney has street support. My
Mm,
sources tells me that Nooney nor Gator has no voice in our community, has no support in our community. This is what my sources are telling me.
mm-hmm.
They have no voice. They have no street credibility within our community, according to my sources. Now, on top of what you just said, they haven't said nothing in the last 10 to 20 years. So my question becomes, why now? What's so important now?
Ooh, now let's go with it. And I'm not saying that they're provocateurs of any shape, form, or fashion. But what I am saying is knowing the history of the Democratic Party, knowing that the Democratic Party is behind the KKK, is behind the Jim Crow law, is behind, or in essence, an extension of the Confederate Army who desired to keep our people in slavery. If a person is promoting or pushing the Democratic agenda,
Okay.
then that would mean that they would be part of the agenda of Jim Crow, the agenda of the Ku Klux Klan, the agenda of the Confederate Army. Because if not, why would you even support a party that has promoted or set those things in motion? That's
Okay.
questionable in itself.
Let's get this understood.
Hmm.
Growth through growth and development, support any political candidate.
No, not at all.
So if growth and development is not supporting any political candidate, where is this? How did Mr. Nooney G and Mr. Gator get to pushing behind the name saying that this is what growth and development is supporting?
That would that no, that can't happen. This that no, no,
Okay,
no.
my sources also tell me this here, that growth and development has a political think tank.
Hmm.
Is Nooney G or Gator Bradley a part of this political think tank?
No, they're not.
So
I can
if
tell you
they
that for
not,
a fact. They're
so
not.
if they're not part of this political think tank, where, how are they operating in the way they operate? Are they renegade, or
That
is
would
they
definitely be
okay?
renegade. That's
Okay,
freelancing.
let's get this understanding too. Now it is
Hmm.
that we know now that the government don't necessarily mean that you coming in as an FBI agent, or you coming in to pull a William O'Neill, or you coming in to pull a Anthony McIntyre. You can also be a agent provocateur to push a political agenda.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get that's what I want to get that understood. So is
Yeah,
it
definitely.
possible? Is
It's
it
called a puppet.
possible that they can be pushing a political agenda that don't necessarily support the community?
Yes, they could be being misled or led astray
So
to their
they
own ignorance without even knowing they're being misled.
or could they be getting some out of themselves?
That's possible too.
Or could they also be trying to put themselves back in a spotlight like they really have a voice?
Mm. Now that brings a question to mind.
Yes.
If they are putting themselves in the spotlight as if they still have a voice, then me coming from the background I come from, that would mean they're setting the stage to lead people astray, because you only strive to have a voice if you have an agenda that suits your own personal gain. Because if you don't have a personal agenda or a personal gain, you will teach truth and facts out of love without looking for anything in return. It's not about trying to lead anybody a certain direction or convince anybody of anything. It's about putting the truth out there so the people can make the right decision for themselves.
So let's get this understood.
Mm-hmm.
PLM News Network, we stand on truth and facts.
Mm-hmm.
And you better believe we're going to get to the truth and the facts behind all this. And we are going to clear the smoke, because I have reliable sources who have boots on the ground who are saying that Noonie, Harold, Noonie G. Ward, and Wallace Gator Bradley has no influence within the streets or our communities. That is what my sources have reported to me. And these are reliable, in the trenches, boots on the ground, everyday living men and women who truly believe in the essence of growth and development, like yourself. You just said that you don't know where they come from.
No.
They just them been gone for all these years and they ain't pop back up. So let me say this to all the networkers. To be aware is to be alive. Signs and symbols are for the conscious minds. Whenever you get somebody that's coming around trying to push an agenda, trying to push this democratic agenda, when there is growth and development, don't support no particular candidate. Growth and development is focusing on the grassroots of their local and state elections.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
why are they doing what they're doing? Pay attention. Pay attention. Do not be led astray. You're going to have those that's going to come to you with a Trump agenda. You're going to have those that's going to come to you with a Kamala agenda. You have to learn to have a discernment to be able to see the signs and the symbols, to ask the questions, why?
You know, you brought something to mind, right? And there was a song came out. Can't remember the artist, but they said you only as funky as your last cut. So if you ain't dropped a hit in over 10 years, clearly you're not relevant in this industry.
Oh, so okay. Okay, so now they're trying to go on a reunion tour or something, huh? They're trying to come back. They ain't been back in the studio,
Yeah.
so they trying to sell out concerts from their old hits, right?
Hmm.
All right, so now, like I said, to be aware is to be alive. Signs and symbols are for the conscious mind. And better believe, PLM News Network, we're gonna clear the smoke. Because
Absolutely.
from my understanding, from my sources, these men here, they stink. They are rotten to the core, like dead carcass. You know how dead body smell, dead carcass smell? That's what
Hmm.
happened. That's what reliable, boots on the ground, true believers say at these two men. And on
You know
that
what's
note,
crazy?
yes, sir.
That, you know, when there's a dead caucus around, rats seem to circle that.
We keep it going, brother.
Yeah, their carcasses are food for rats.
Okay, okay. So we got to stay focused at all times. And so, brother,
Yes, sir.
give us a close out.
Absolutely. First thing I want to say is I want to thank all the viewers for tuning in and watching this and listening to it and taking heed to what's being said. Second thing I want to say is I want to thank all the networkers and educators and outstanding members and standing members of this organization that push the vision of growth and development, that strives for organization, that's in their community doing the work. Those are the ones that are recognized as being plugged and accounted for. Because if you on count, you count because you doing what counts. And if you're not, then get out the way and let those who believe in these teachings stand in the righteous path.
All right, my brother. Thank you. So let me add this here. If you on count, you count. If you ain't on count, then you don't count. Right?
Absolute.
If you got boots on the ground and you stomp down in the trenches, then you count. So I want to say this to all the networks. PLM News Network. We stand with you. We are about you. You have been hoodwinked and tricked for so long. What PLM News Network is here to do is to untrick you. We here to wash your brain. How people say they brainwashing you. You really need your brains washed because people have
Hmm.
been dirtying your brain with falsehood. And we are going to clear the smoke. We are going to get to the bottom. But stay tuned because the agent provocateurs are right there in front of you and around you. Please believe that the William O'Neills and the Anthony McIntyres still walk in our midst. And on that note, thank each and every one for all the love and support. And let's get to 10,000 subscribers. We are getting to, we not buying no subscribers. We
Not as
doing
pure.
this pure from our hard work. We haven't bought not one subscriber, and we would never buy a subscriber
We do this for the love.
for the love of this organization. We do this for the love of the people. We do this for positive lifestyle management. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.